Welcome to Kindness Stories, where every story shows that kindness always wins. If you love real-life tales of courage and compassion, then you are in the right place. Subscribe and stay with us for stories that touch your heart and inspire you to spread kindness every single day. Emma was the kind of girl who liked to hide at the back of the classroom. She always wore her hair in a simple ponytail and kept her head low. She wasn't loud or confident like the other girls in her class. Instead, she spent her breaks reading books in the library or helping Mrs. Jenkins, the school librarian, stack old books in the dusty shelves. The world Emma lived in was much different from what people could see on the outside. On the inside, Emma carried dreams of becoming a martial arts champion someday, but she kept it hidden because of how people mocked her when she spoke about it once. She was 14 when she first joined the new school. It was her fourth move in 2 years because her dad's job kept changing cities. Every time she moved, she would make one friend and then have to say goodbye before she got the chance to feel at home. That made her shy and hesitant to talk to people. But even in her shyness, she never wanted to hurt anyone. She believed that if you didn't have something kind to say, you should stay quiet. That belief made her an easy target for bullies. There was a group in her class led by two girls, Emma and Brittany. They were both beautiful, loud, and always surrounded by people who laughed at their jokes even when they weren't funny. They had a way of making Emma feel like she didn't exist. Sometimes they whispered and giggled when she walked by. Other times, they dropped their books near her feet and demanded she pick them up. Emma did so without a word because confrontation scared her more than humiliation. One Tuesday morning, Emma sat at her desk reading a book while the rest of the class talked and played around before the teacher arrived. She didn't notice Emma and Brittany approaching until it was too late. Brittany snatched the book from her hands and flipped through the pages with an exaggerated laugh. Look at this. What are you reading, Emma? Fairy tales? Are you 5 years old? Emma reached for her book, but Emma pulled it away and tossed it across the room, where it landed in a trash can. Emma felt her face turn red, but she stayed seated. She didn't want to make things worse. She hoped that if she ignored them, they'd leave her alone. But Emma had other plans. She leaned over Emma's desk and whispered, "Why don't you stand up for yourself?" "Oh wait, you're too much of a coward." Emma stayed quiet. She stared at her desk and counted her breaths like her mom used to tell her when she felt anxious. 1, 2, 3, 4. She tried to shut out their mocking voices. Suddenly, Brittany grabbed the collar of Emma's shirt and pulled it so hard that the fabric ripped at the shoulder. The whole class gasped and went silent for a second before bursting into giggles. Emma could feel her eyes sting with tears, but she forced herself not to cry. She stood up, pressed her hand against her torn shirt, and rushed out of the classroom. She ran straight to the bathroom and locked herself inside a stall. There she sat on the toilet seat, buried her face in her hands, and let the tears flow. She didn't want to tell her dad. He already worked so much and barely had time to eat dinner with her. She didn't want to be another burden on his shoulders. She didn't want to tell her teachers either because she knew Emma's parents were big donors to the school. If she spoke up, who would believe her over Emma and Brittany? That night, Emma sat on her bed holding her favorite pillow. She stared at the trophies on her shelf, old ones from when she used to take karate classes as a kid. She remembered how strong she felt back then, how her sensei always told her that strength wasn't about hurting people. It was about protecting yourself and others. She hadn't practiced karate in years, but the memory sparked something inside her. The next day, she found a small dojo not far from her house. It was run by an old woman named Master Kim. When Emma walked in, she felt out, a place among the confident students sparring and practicing their moves. But Master Kim greeted her with a warm smile. "Why are you here, child?" Master Kim asked gently. Emma hesitated. She didn't want to explain everything, so she simply said, "I want to feel strong again." That was all Master Kim needed to hear. She took Emma under her wing. Every evening after school, Emma went to the dojo. She trained hard. She stumbled, fell, got bruises on her arms and legs, but never gave up. She practiced kicks and punches, learned how to block, and most importantly, how to balance her mind. Master Kim taught her that anger was like fire, useful when controlled, destructive when wild. Meanwhile, at school, the bullying didn't stop. Emma and Brittany kept mocking her, They didn't know about her secret training. They still thought of her as the shy girl who wouldn't dare speak up. But Emma was changing from the inside. She began to walk a little taller. She stopped, flinching when they threw insults her way. The other students started noticing the dot asterisk one Friday afternoon. The class had a substitute teacher who stepped out for a moment to grab some papers. That was when Amber decided to strike again. She marched over to Emma's desk with Brittany in tow. They grabbed her bag and dumped its contents on the floor. Pens, books, her lunchbox, everything scattered around her feet. Asterisk, pick it up. Loser, Amber sneered. Asterisk, Emma calmly knelt down and picked up her things. She didn't react to their laughter. Instead, she put her bag back together, sat down, and opened her book again. Her calmness infuriated Amber. Asterisk, why are you acting like you're better than us? Amber shouted loud enough for the whole class to hear. You think you're so perfect because you read stupid books. Asterisk, Emma looked up and met Amber's eyes for the first time. No fear, no anger, just quiet strength. She didn't say a word. That silence was like fuel to Amber's rage. In a flash, Amber grabbed Emma by the arm, yanked her up, and shoved her against the wall. Asterisk, what happened next was something no one expected. As Amber raised her hand to slap Emma, Emma gently caught her wrist midair. Her grip was firm, but not hurtful. Amber tried to pull away, but Emma held her steady. Brittany moved forward to help, but Emma turned her calm gaze towards her and said in a low voice, Don't. Asterisk, the classroom was dead silent. No one laughed. No one spoke. Emma looked Amber in the eye and said, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Asterisk, Amber's face turned red with shock. She pulled her hand free and stumbled back. Brittany grabbed her arm, whispering that they should just leave her alone, and they did. For the first time, Emma didn't have to run away. She stood her ground, and the whole class saw it. Asterisk, word spread fast. Everyone in the school heard about how the shy girl stopped the bullies without throwing a punch. Emma didn't get revenge. She didn't hurt anyone. She simply showed that she wouldn't be a victim anymore. Asterisk, Master Kim was proud when Emma told her what happened. You see, child, true strength is not about hurting others. It's about knowing you can, but choosing not to, Master Kim said with a smile. Asterisk, in the weeks that followed, Emma found herself changing in more ways than one. She still loved her books, but now she wasn't afraid to sit in the cafeteria instead of hiding in the library. She made new friends, real ones, who liked her for who she was. She even joined the school's self-defense club and began teaching other girls some basic moves she learned at the dojo. She wanted them to feel the strength she found within herself. Asterisk, one day, Amber came up to her after class. Emma felt her stomach twist, but she didn't show it. Amber looked different, less arrogant, more uncertain. She shuffled her feet and avoided Emma's eyes. Asterisk, I'm sorry for everything, Amber mumbled. I didn't know you were so strong. Asterisk, Emma took a deep breath. She remembered all the pain, the tears, the humiliation. She could have lashed out or ignored her. Instead, she said, I accept your apology. Just don't do it to anyone else. Asterisk, Amber nodded and walked away. Emma knew it would take time for people to change, but she also knew that forgiveness was another form of strength. Asterisk, as months passed, Emma competed in her first local martial arts tournament in years. She didn't win the gold medal, but she did win something much more valuable, her confidence. She stood on the mat, bowed to her opponent, and gave it her all. When she left the tournament that night, she felt lighter than ever. Asterisk, her father watched her train at the dojo one evening and said, I'm so proud of you, Emma. You've become so strong. Asterisk, Emma smiled. She knew strength wasn't about fists or kicks. It was about standing up when life tried to push you down. It was about kindness too, because the world had enough cruelty. What it needed was more people who knew how to protect their light and help others find theirs. Asterisk, and so Emma's story spread, not because she fought back with violence, but because she fought back with courage, patience, and kindness. She inspired others to stand up for themselves, to speak up, and to believe in their own power even when they felt small. Asterisk, her old trophies gathered dust on her shelf, but her real trophy was the life she built for herself, a life where bullies no longer had power over her, where she could help others find their strength, and where kindness became the strongest weapon she ever wielded. Asterisk, every time she stepped into the dojo, she remembered that shy girl who once hid in the bathroom crying. She wished she could hug that girl and tell her that one day the tears would stop. The fear would fade, and in its place, there would be a warrior with a heart big enough to forgive even the ones who tried to break her, asterisk, asterisk.